Hello, college football fans, and welcome back to the Big Ten Quick Talk podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and enable alerts for my channel using the bell icon so that you are alerted when future videos come out, such as this one. And in today's video, we will be discussing the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, featuring Ole Miss and Penn State. Penn State's favored by 4.5 currently. And this is going to be a strength-on-strength battle. Ole Miss's offense is a huge strength for them. They have Jackson Dart, who can sling it. They have three different wide receivers, all playing in this game that went for over 700 receiving yards. They have Kayshawn Junkins, who quite honestly looks like a Big Ten running back. He is very physical and powerful, big back who can get chunk yards as well. He's a back that a lot of defensive people can fear. He's a really big back. And this will feature also Penn State's defense that has a lot of returning players to this game. They will be missing Chop Robinson, but they'll have guys to replace him, like Odessa Isaac, their defensive end that has 7.5 sacks this year. That leads the team. And this is a defense that flies around. It looks like an NFL defense. If we're just looking at it, it looks like an NFL defense. They cover really well. They fly to the ball. They're very fast, and they seemingly have no weakness. Although we will be discussing them a little bit later. And this is more of a week on week on the other side of the ball. Penn State's offense sputters versus big time opponents. Let's face it. They didn't score many against Ohio State, and they certainly didn't score a lot versus Michigan. So they sputter versus decent defenses and really high-powered programs. And Ole Miss's defense can be pretty shaky at times. They gave up a ton to Georgia, and I know they're Georgia, but their offense isn't as high-powered as they used to be. They still give up a whole lot of points. We're going to start with Penn State here. An X factor for me has to be Odessa Isaac, who I previously mentioned. With star defensive end Chop Robinson out, Penn State will need Odessa Isaac to step up big time. And really, Ole Miss is going to have to double team him, give him some chips, because this guy gets sacks. He has 7.5 on the season, and he is a guy. He is an emerging superstar. Excuse me, and he'll be there for at least another year or two at Penn State. So next year, double-digit sacks is definitely in the realm of possibility for Odessa Isaac as long as he stays healthy. And he's a guy that has to wreck this game for Penn State. He has to. If he goes quiet, then they don't have that other star defensive end, Chop Robinson, on the other side to help him out. They really need Odessa Isaac to step up here. If he's quiet, then they're not gonna generate a whole lot of pressure because their defensive tackles are a little bit undersized, and that Ole Miss offensive line will be able to hold them. So it's really important for Odessa Isaac to get to the quarterback. Cornerback Johnny Dixon is not playing in this game. He had 4.5 sacks, an interception, and 26 tackles on the season. Penn State will miss him dearly, but they are getting a guy that is seemingly going to be drafted in the first round, Kalen King. They're going to get him to play in this game. And really, not a whole lot more are opting out of this game on the Penn State side. And what Penn State needs to do to win is play competent offense. They have an elite defense, and assuming the defense limits the high-powered Ole Miss offense to 18 and 22 points, Penn State needs to just play competent offense. Get Katron Allen in there to score a couple times. Get Keandre Lambert Smith the ball a couple times. Have Drew Aller play turnoverless football. Just simple, easy things that they need to do in order to win this game. And, get Nick Singleton and Katron Allen involved, like I just said. And they need to be able to run for over 100 yards and just play competent offense, because assuming your defense holds Ole Miss to, like I said, 18 to 22, 18 to 24 points, then they stand a real chance of winning this game, because let's face it, Penn State's not scoring more than 24 to 26 points even when you have an Ole Miss defense that's kind of shaky, they're just not going to do it. They could prove me wrong. By all means, they could. But I just don't see them doing that. So, excuse me. They need to be, assuming that they have an elite defense, they need to have a competent offense play, turnoverless. That's a huge issue. They need to play turnoverless football. All right, so we'll move on to Ole Miss. How Ole Miss can win? Well, they have the best running back in this game. Well, Penn State has the best duo in Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. But if you're going off of player versus player, Keyshawn Junkins is the best running back on this field in this game. And the only weak part of this elite defense, seemingly, is that the Penn State defensive tackles are a little bit undersized. They're not big bruisers, let's say. They're a little bit undersized. So if you can get a little bit of push with them, with the interior of that offensive line, and get Keyshawn Junkins going into the secondary, into the linebackers, that'll bode really well because that'll create easy pass plays. That'll create easy matchups if you're getting 6 to 7 yards on first down, and Keyshawn Junkins is a guy that he can withstand. He's like Derrick Henry. He can withstand getting the ball 30 times. He can withstand getting the ball 33 times or something like that. So they really need him to play super duper well in this game because Penn State has the DBs to lock up with the Ole Miss's wide receivers, although they are missing Johnny Dixon, which does hurt them. I'm not saying that doesn't hurt them. That does. But they are getting Kalen King for this game. Kalen King's younger brother's playing in this game, who is also a standout guy. And I think that, this game for Ole Miss, they can't mess up on special teams. Penn State is pretty darn good on special teams. They have a really good kicking game. They have a really good punting game. Ole Miss needs to be able to match that in order to win this game. So, considering all of this, my pick is for this game to be a little bit on the lower end of the scoring spectrum. Surprise, I've been talking about it for a little bit. And I think Penn State is going to win this game 24-20. I think that they'll be able to flip fields very well because their special teams are very good. And I expect 2 touchdowns from a combination of Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. And I expect Drew Aller to play interceptionless football, throw for a $180 and a touchdown to Keandre Lambert-Smith and a, let's say, 45-yard field goal to help them to 24 points. It's not going to be easy to score because it's Penn State's offense. Let's face it, it's not easy to score unless you're playing UMass. And, I think that a pick of Jackson Dart, let's rephrase that. I think that the Penn State defense picks off Jackson Dart at least once in this game to help flip that field. I think that Penn State's DBs are too good, and if Ole Miss comes out firing, I think that they'll be able to pick them off once or twice. So that's my prediction for this game. Go watch my Mizzou Ohio State game prediction if that game hasn't happened yet, and I'll see you guys in the next one.